Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. It's going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thanks for your support. Okay, big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, you can see that Bitcoin had a little bit of a pickup yesterday before I made yesterday's video. I think we were floating down at 32k. I'm not sure if we dipped just below that. I think when I recorded the video, we was around about the top end of 31k, wasn't we? And obviously we've got a little bit of a pickup, but what we do need to see this week, obviously, is not close below this red line, which is a 55 EMA. Okay, so we need over the next couple of days some level of support to come in for Bitcoin. Like I said to you, there is a correlation between the DXY and Bitcoin at the moment. When you see the DXY falling, you're going to see Bitcoin going up, and like I said to you, if you see the DXY going up, this way you're going to see Bitcoin going down. So there is a correlation, and like I said to you, if the DXY breaks that key level of resistance, then you're looking at a bear market for Bitcoin, and if it continues to fall and loses a level of support, that's where you're going to see the continuation of the bull market for crypto and Bitcoin, obviously, because it's the king of the coins, basically. So yeah, watch this space, you know, instead of like sort of listening to inexperienced TA or people calling a bear market just based off emotions, you know, and the fact that Bitcoin's correcting, you need to wait for key signals to signify a bear market, and this is what we're not in yet. Okay, in my opinion anyway. It's only my opinion, but again, you don't take it as financial advice. It's for educational entertainment purposes only. Everyone's screaming bear market, aren't they? But you know, I'm not at the moment. At the moment, I say that at the moment, I don't see a bear market for Bitcoin or crypto at the moment. As you're fully aware, we're completely overextended and we're coming down and we're holding the key level of support. Now, this red line, like I said to you, is very important, because on any time frame, if you start to fall under that, you are in a downtrend effectively. Because what Bitcoin's doing here on the weekly, it's been a consolidation range. It's basically consolidating. Now, if you do start to close below this red line on the weekly, you know, the likelihood is and the probability is you are going to sort of enter that bear market, because if you do start to do this, this is where you're going to see the DXY pump and break that level of resistance and continue, you know, reverse on that downtrend that it's created and the horizontal. I'll show you in a moment. And this could contribute to the sort of bear market for Bitcoin and send us into that bear market if we do close the week below this red line. So this is important, because if we do, like I said to you, you close below and you start hitting your head, you're hitting your head. This is, you know, you run into resistance like that. This where eventually you come back down to another level of support. Now, I've shown you, okay, we do have one primary level of support which does need to hold in this market, and that is this yellow line on the monthly, the 20 EMA. If we ever fall below that, that is your bear market. Okay, so precursor is hitting your head on the 55 on the weekly. More than likely, if you start doing that, this is where you're going to see yourself come down to the monthly 20 EMA. So what I'm trying to say is, if we do have one massive correction, okay, there's one last leg of support that has to hold. Otherwise, yes, bear market for Bitcoin and crypto, and it is the monthly 20 EMA, because like I've shown you so many times, if you start to fall under that level of support, you are in a bear market. Okay, like just here, this is where the bull market started for Bitcoin. Okay, it was way back here when we, you know, based out down here. We had this capitulation after this bear market just here. We ended in the floor just there, and we start to pick up. We created the bullish cross on the weekly time frame. Look, this is the signal you're looking for from CoinsKid. Okay, this is the signal. This is your golden signal. This is your big buy and go to the beach signal from CoinsKid just there. And if we do enter a bear market, that signal will come again, and it will signify the upside and the start of the bull market, in my opinion. If we was to enter a sort of bear market, it could be a mini bear market, so to speak, for Bitcoin. Okay, where we could enter a sort of mini bear market. The DXY pumps a little bit, and then it sort of corrects on itself and carries out that extension just there. But then if Bitcoin does bottom out, you know, higher than this previous wave one high, this is where we'll find absolute excellent entry points going forward for the next continuation, you know, of that sort of mini bear market cycle. Get it out of the way before continuation up to the 200k, the 2.272, because like I said to you, if you start to fall under that invalidates all of this projection just there for Bitcoin. Okay, it really does. The Elliott wave theory is out the window, potentially entering that multi-year bear market where God knows where the bottom is. God knows. But yesterday, like I said to you, potentially, if you missed yesterday's video on where the bear market bottoms are, this is potentially your bear market bottom, this red line here, because in each bear market, Bitcoin corrects roughly 80%. So effectively, you know, if you was to enter a bear market, and this is the start of a bear market for Bitcoin, this is where your bottom would realistically be, is at 12.539 is your bear market bottom. going off previous statistics that, you know, that's the correction that Bitcoin goes through. So again, if it does come, fantastic entry point for Bitcoin, and it is what it is. But so far, you know, whilst we're holding key levels of support, we're not in a bear market. So my anticipation is this. I'm just going to draw it out right now for you, okay? We may potentially lose the 55, and we may potentially come down to the monthly if we get that lucky, okay, in this bull market. Come back down, hold the 20 on the monthly, get the pickup continuation. At some point, you know, whether it's this year or towards the start of next year, Bitcoin will push up and onwards to 200k. Now, when it does hit that, okay, there's talk of a super cycle where we don't actually have a bear market, and Bitcoin just finds its footing and just continues from there and appreciates. Because you've heard the terminology, the perfect storm, okay, you've heard of all that so far. I've shown you videos and clips on why that reasoning is. You know, it's possible, and everything is possible. This bear market dipping into oblivion down here is possible, and picking up and breaking resistances above and continue with a bull market is equally possible. And this is what I always do in the channel. I always show you the charts. Whatever the charts are telling me, I tell you the story, and that's the best I can do. I can't lie to you because I'm showing you the charts as I'm telling you a story. So basically, yeah, I mean, you've got the super cycle theory where Bitcoin just goes on from 200k, 250, 300, 400, 500, 600. Some people are calling for 1 million, you know, where it does go up there and it doesn't have a bear market, you know. But if it does, then I'm going to show you if Bitcoin tops out at 200k right there and has a bear market, according to previous cycles where we have those sort of corrections, you know, you're looking at 80% correction for Bitcoin, and potentially you're looking in the next bear market cycle, after we do top out at our particular projection, you will be looking at a 41k Bitcoin in the bear market bottom. So, you know, even that right now, if that is the case, you are still in profit buying here for Bitcoin. Do you see what I'm saying? And I want to show you as well, you know, looking back at the history of Bitcoin, whenever you've bought these capitulation events, okay, you've always been in profit. And this is something else I want to remind you, because, you know, you've got to zoom out. You have to zoom out and realize what Bitcoin is. It's on a journey, okay? It's on a journey. It's sort of moving forward, but it's not going to get there overnight. And you have to realize and have patience. This is what I've taught you in this game, okay? Have patience. People get so impetuous and they want the returns today, but it doesn't happen like that, okay? Because so at any point for Bitcoin, when you're buying big red dildos, what are you getting? You're getting big green candles, aren't you? And whenever you're buying these big green candles, you're getting the red dildos. So basically, at any point when you're buying red or fear or blood or downturn or a correction for Bitcoin, you are in profit in the future. Do you see this? Look, downturn. Oh no, it's going to zero. You were the same fear mongers back then saying we was in a bear market. Effectively we was. But, you know, when you look at this, Bitcoin's never been in a bear market, has it? It's just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it will continue to be that until it finds its footing. You know, and it's a multi-trillion dollar market cap. It's liquidity. It moves like the S&P 500. It moves 0.5% in a day. This is what I'm projecting for Bitcoin. Not yet. You know, probably, you know, we may enter that cycle this year or in another couple of cycles. Who knows? No one's got a crystal ball. But as the market matures, because this is what it's doing, it's maturing, isn't it? As it matures and it becomes what it is, you know, this is where it will become more stable and more liquid. And it will just be less volatile. So this volatility is what you've got to take advantage of right now, okay? So, you know, buying here, look to the future, basically. Again, not financial advice. So yeah, anyway, enough rambling on. I do apologise. But so far, you know, Bitcoin is looking relatively healthy for continuation, providing it can hold a key level of support. But like I've said to you, if you do start to lose the weekly 55, okay, like I said to you, on any time frame, if you're closing below the 55, the red line, you're entering a downtrend, your confirmation of a downtrend, okay? So at the minute, like I said to you, in full transparency, you know, you're above the 20, uptrend, between, consolidating. That's exactly what Bitcoin's been doing since it's entered this range just there. You start to fall under the 55, you enter in a downtrend on the weekly time frame, okay? Which potentially is going to push you down to another key level of support, and I've shown you on the monthly, it is the 20 monthly EMA, which, if we get fortunate, and it does dip down that far, put some cheeky bids on it, okay? Go to your charts, drop the 20 monthly EMA in, and you'll see what it is. At the moment, it's 27,146. This is where you would find a massive level of support. on any chart you look, when things break down, they bounce off the EMAs before continuation of a trend. So, you know, even if we was to enter a bear market, put some cheeky bids on, because you will see a massive bounce and you'll make profit at that point, okay? Or close your shorts on that particular project and open some longs. It really is that simple. Okay, so this is what I teach everybody. The EMAs, these two EMAs are the most important in my opinion. Now there is obviously, as you're fully aware, other EMAs and moving averages, and I will show you that in another video. But so far, what I want to show you is that, you know, until we start to lose support, and I'll keep saying it, until we start to lose key levels of support, you know, I'm not sure basically. And I do think that we're going to have continuation in this bull run, but, you know, I could completely be wrong, couldn't I? So what I'm going to do is just show you the DXY quickly, because I'll try and drop this into the segment every day for Bitcoin. So looking at DXY right now, you can see that, like I said to you yesterday, you run into resistance, aren't you? I mean, look at that, boom, 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 perfect shorting opportunity right there on the DXY that I gave you yesterday that you're running into, you know. And do pay attention to this, because when this goes short, Bitcoin goes long, okay? When this goes long, Bitcoin goes short. So you can trade in and out of both, okay? Not financial advice, but come to your charts. On the DXY, draw a weekly horizontal line of resistance and a horizontal line of support, and you can see that the DXY is caught in a horizontal triangle. Like I've said to you, you know, these are primarily continuation patterns, okay? So this is potentially where you're going to see sort of slop sideways, up and down, chop, until the DXY breaks resistance or loses support. This is the confirmation of the bull market for Bitcoin, or the bear market for Bitcoin. Do you see that? So basically, you know, this could be a scenario out here that the DXY runs into resistance just here, starts to fall back to support. This is where you could see Bitcoin pump a little bit, but then as the DXY comes back up, this is where you could see Bitcoin lose the EMAs and go down to that 20 EMA on the monthly. At that point, you know, the DXY could run into resistance again, and this is where you get that last dip in Bitcoin before the DXY continues with the trend, loses the support, and Bitcoin continues with a bull run. Really is that simple, okay? So do pay attention to DXY, and obviously you've got the opposite scenario as well. So, but what I want to show you right now, okay, and I always say this to you, I always remind you of this as well, there's something you do need to pay attention to, and it's called smart money, okay? And hopefully I relay this message to you in this channel, and I've always relayed this message to you in the channel, because I do follow the smart money. So, you know, I'm going to show you the Bitcoin address that I'm following right now, which for me, all you got to do is follow this and you'll be fruitful. So let's take a look at this particular address right now. Okay, this is the Bitcoin address that I've been following for a very long time, and all you got to do right now is look at what they're doing in this moment. Okay, they're accumulating. Look where they sold that peak. Okay, you remember, I think about a month ago we sort of had that pick up for Bitcoin. Okay, now it topped out at 40k, and what did they do? They sold, and all the way down here, you know, rock bottom price is 32, 33. You know, again, more buying, more accumulation. What I want to show you right now, obviously, is Bitcoin, again, on the hourly time frame. So you can see that the DXY is running into a level of resistance right there. What we'll do, have a quick look on the 4 hour and see what we can see, if there's any sort of patterns on the 4 hour on the DXY. So, yeah, straight off the bat, potentially you've got a triple top just there. Do you see that? So that's 1, 2, 3 tops. And potentially, if you don't break this level of resistance, this is where you lose this level of support just here. Do you see that? Just there, and this is where potentially you start to see the breakdown, and the target just there obviously is from there to there, and you can see that if a DXY loses this level of support here that's created for itself, you know, this is where you could see a breakdown to this particular target just there of 9140, and this is where you'll see Bitcoin pump a little bit. So, you know, a loss of almost 1%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it does have an effect on Bitcoin. Some kind of rising wedge that's on the go as well for the DXY potentially. You know, and this is where you see if it does something like this, it's tighter and tighter, potentially it breaks down to where it came from, forming a wedge, and this is the breakdown target. You see that? So yeah, so the DXY is looking a bit short to me at the minute. It's struggling to get through that level of resistance. Okay, so do pay attention to that. You know, you have got a bit of a bear flag there on the 4 hourly time frame as well. Just here, there's a bit of a bear flag. So you broke down, you're creating some kind of bear flag just there, where you got the breakdown target from there to there, and again, this is where you lose this level of support just there, and you continue with the trend just there. Do you see that? So yeah, that's basically the DXY on the 4 hour, looking a bit lackluster, to be honest with you. It's running to a level of resistance, and potentially it's looking for the roll just there. So do come to your charts, draw this, because if this does break down, this coincides with Bitcoin pumping. Okay, so this is a tradable events for you right here. So looking at Bitcoin on the 4 hourly time frame, then let's see what we can see. Okay, So with Bitcoin then, you're fully aware we've got this large falling wedge that Bitcoin's in, which is actually a bullish reversal pattern, and then you're starting to form this smaller falling wedge just here. Do you see this? Again, a reversal pattern. When you've bounced off this level of support just here, you've run into the resistance of this larger falling wedge. Do you see that? So it's getting closer. There's some kind of break going to happen here. Now if you do start to lose support just here, do anticipate falling back down and testing this red line as support once more. Do you see that? But if you do start to break this level of resistance just here and get back above the EMAs on the 4-hourly time frame, you potentially come up and break this resistance just here. You do have a breakout target, and it's from there where you came and formed the wedge. Do you see that? So potentially you could be looking at a 36k Bitcoin. If you come up and break this level of resistance, come to your charts, falling wedge. You see this? If you break this level of resistance, this is good within itself. You're breaking this larger falling wedge, and potentially from there you could be looking at a lovely pump of around about 9.27%. It's all on the DXY. Look at the DXY. If the DXY is breaking down, Bitcoin's going up. If the DXY is going up, then Bitcoin's breaking down. So pay attention to it, okay? So I'll give you a couple of little targets just there. You've got to come to your charts, because I could give you targets and price targets as well, but you can see they're constantly changing. So if you do start to see, I don't know, Bitcoin come up and get above 33,165 roughly, you know, over the next couple of days or something, that's good. But equally, you know, you've got this level of resistance which Bitcoin has run into just here. Okay, you look at this red line. Look how tight it's getting just here. Look how tight. So some kind of break is coming just here. This is very important. You've got the support line of this falling wedge, a smaller one, and obviously you've got the resistance of this red line, which is a larger falling wedge. All relatively bullish patterns just here. Do you see that? Looks bad, but some kind of break is going to happen just here, so pay attention to it. That's Bitcoin. I'll be back tomorrow with an update for Bitcoin. Just a quick one. If you do start to lose this level of support, you have got a potential breakdown target, you know, from there down to there, retest of around about 10% correction for Bitcoin. Come to your charts, draw this red line, because this needs to hold as support, obviously, and this is where you could see Bitcoin come down to that monthly 20 EMA, and that could potentially be the bottom in this market. Take care, everyone. Back tomorrow with another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.